Well, the National Education, Health and Allied Workers Union is preparing for a nationwide strike at the National Health Laboratory Service. Wage negotiations between workers and the employer have reached a deadlock. The indefinite strike is set to start tomorrow. We're joined by NEHAWU's Deputy General Secretary, December Mavuso, to give us the latest on this. December, good morning.
Morning.
And thanks for your time. Well, it seems that this is set to happen tomorrow. Give us an idea of what's happened. What are the demands? What are you asking for? What has been offered so far?
Well, the negotiations with NHL started in February this year. Up until the 20th of July, we've been having various engagement, including at the SSMA, where we could not resolve the dispute because at the time, the employer had not offered anything. There was a talk of a 3% offer, which was not confirmed, but on the rest of the other demands, that includes the salary increase of 13%, which we later revised to 7.3%, the housing allowance of 2,000 rand, the introduction of danger allowance. You would know that workers there, they're exposed to dangerous, organisms and so on. Including the introduction of rural allowance, because some of the hospitals where NHLS employees are based, they are located in rural areas where, in terms of the Department of Health, they've been classified as rural areas, and workers in the Department of Health are paid rural allowance, because the state entity, we thought that so it's important that so such things be also addressed for purpose of NHLS employees. Now, the last discussion we had following our notice, which was issued on the 9th, was on the 20th with management. At the time, there was an indication that they are prepared to revise the offer, but that was subject to confirmation by the board. The special board meeting, which was supposed to take place yesterday, we are really told that meeting did take place. We're waiting to get the feedback this morning. But as things stands, workers are ready to go on strike tomorrow. It will depend on what feedback we get. Yeah.
So if you do go on strike tomorrow, is it a one-day strike or is it an indefinite strike? Is it from tomorrow or just tomorrow?
Well, we said we will set a warning shot. So tomorrow it will be a one-day strike. We will also be reporting to workers about their latest developments and hear what members are saying. If the view is that we should go on, we will make such an announcement. But from where we're sitting, we think our members are prepared to fight, because it's not just the issue of the salary increase. NHLS has been having problems for many years. One of the issues we did last year as a union was we blew a whistle on corruption, on maladministration, which led to the suspension of the CEO, the CFO, and the procurement officer. The disciplinary processes are underway as we speak, but they've been taking too long, and we have many people acting in NHLS. So we think one of the things we want to highlight with this action is that there's a need to move with speed to finalize that process, stabilize NHLS. But there's also a big problem about the funding model of NHLS, which always creates a problem, for the institution. And we just from a national congress that has said to us, mandated us, to call for the reintegration of NHLS under the Department of Health, because the current arrangement doesn't work.
Give us some idea, whether this goes on for one day or whether it goes on for a couple of days after this. Which are the services that will be affected?
It will always be all services.
Yeah. How will the public be affected?
Well, NHLS obviously conduct tests for hospitals.
Example, blood tests and things, yes.
And so on. When we go on strike, that obviously the intention is to disrupt the services. So we hope that it won't have to go that far. A solution will be found. Management would and the board would find it, including the Department of Health, to come to the party and ensure that these matters are resolved. But
does it not worry you that somebody's life could be at risk, even if it's a one-day strike, through this action?
Well, it always worries us. That's why a strike for us is always the last option. As I'm saying to you, we started the negotiation in February. despite the fact that we served the notice already, but we agreed to meet with them even to see if something can be done. So it's not something that we wake up and make a decision, we go on strike, but we think that NHLS needs to be rescued from the current state, and it is only workers because they are affected by this situation that can raise those issues here.
And that's about 5,000 workers around the country?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Well, we wait to hear what happens, and you obviously update us depending on what feedback you get today. Thanks very much for your time. Deputy General Secretary there of NEHAWU, and that is December Mavuso.